Hello everyone, welcome to the Ananta Talkshow. Today we have a new guest, Mr. Mitesh Nijhara. He is the HR head of Spocto currently. He has a huge experience of 15 years in the human resources field. Spocto is a global leader in the field of risk mitigation and debt recovery. Welcome on board, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, Pukka, for inviting to this talk show. Looking forward to this interaction.
That's great. Uh, Sir, could you please take us through a journey about your personal and professional life over these years?
Sure. So I'm a Delhiite. I'm born up in Delhi. Did my schooling in CBSE board. Was lucky enough to top the school for 12th class. That helped me to get a boost and a confidence to in my education. Did my MBA in BCom honors from Delhi University. Then did my MBA from IMT Nagpur. Got passed out in 2009. 2009 was the year of recession, the last recession that was hit in US and India, and we had very less companies coming to our campus. I was one of the lucky person to get a placement, and the first opportunity I got through campus placement was in Pondicherry. It was a company known as Hindustan National Glass, which is a bottle manufacturing company, and they lead 70% glass bottle manufacturing industry in India. For 1 year in Pondicherry and as a management training, got promoted and got the opportunity to work in the same company in a different plant near my home. That is Bahadurgarh. It's near Delhi border. So worked there for another year. This 2 years was very important years of building blocks for me. As we say, every HR should start their career with a factory, because in a factory you understand the 360 degrees approach to HR, the laws, the labor compliances, everything is the most difficult in a factory. So from a from a factory act, from where should be a washroom, where should be a dispensary, where should be the canteen. So it is not only an approach to the HR side of it, even to the admin side of it. So you have to learn a lot of things. I have seen in this company itself strike. I was at 22 years of age. I have seen and handled, was involved in handling strikes. It was a afraid moment at that time, but when I reflect back, I'm very happy to have that experience very early on in my career. I have managed performance management, implemented a lot of things in this company, a lot of good learning. Believe that helped me to build the base and then helped me to grow further. So I'm very happy with that experience that I had with the factory first. Then next 5 years I spent at the IHA airport with two companies. One was a cargo service center, which was a KLM Airlines Group venture. Then they diversified and they became a separate company. They were into handling cargo, offloading and unloading for all the shipment that goes in the plane. So 2.5 to 3 years I was in this company. I was directly reporting to the CEO. So this was the first time when I was directly, you can say at that time the culture of startup was not there. So this company was not a startup, but that was a kind of startup. I joined that company at 350, exited that company at 1,000. I was directly reporting to CEO. So very early on in my career, I understood uh, how to work with top leaders, with founders, and I was handling the end-to-end HR process from recruitment till exit. I learned a lot of things there also, because and there was nobody to make me learn, so I was learning myself. Started handling a team of 5 people from this company. That also helped me to grow further. Then I always wanted to work with MNC, as in I was always fascinated to understand how the processes are, what are the best practices. So I came across the opportunity of FedEx is a globally known MNC, known for their processes and for their policies. So I went from a team management role. I took that risk and that challenge to become an IC again. So for first job I was having team management. From as soon as I became converted from an MT, in the first job I had team. Second job also had a team, but I wanted to experience how MNC works. And FedEx as an MNC doesn't have a huge hierarchy system; it's a very flat structure. So I joined as a IC. Um, Again, this 2.5 years were very important for my career. It helped me to understand how MNC work, why policies are important, SOPs are important, why even a delay in a process, if you feel it's a startup can work quicker, but an MNC works slower. But why it is so? How much important are the policies and process are? I learned a lot of things there. It was a great learning experience as an HRBP, understanding everything end to end and understanding the policy. It again helped me to get my fast-paced environment and policies and experience together. And then I went to the next company, that is HCL Healthcare. HCL Healthcare is a joint venture of, it's one of the 42 companies of HCL. I'm sure it must have increased by now. At that time, it was one of the 42 companies. Again, this was I went from to a core HR operations tool. It is not, I went out of recruitment and everything other than recruitment I was handling for a small team. And I worked directly with people like Shiv Nadar, people like uh, his Shekhar, who is his son-in-law and who is the chairman of the company. Worked with very senior people. But and then due to some reasons, I had to leave that company, and when I had got another opportunity from where my startup culture started, startup world started, that is Cast 24. Again, a very great part of my career, very important part of career, where I understood how a startup works, what is actually business partnering. So till now, I was an HR journalist. I will be honest there. And from Cast 24, understood how you contribute to the revenue of the company, how you contribute to the success of the company, the metrics and everything. So here I was reporting to three people, three founders, one founder officially and two founder unofficially. I was taking care of everything from, again, I joined this role as a HR operations person, but got the responsibility of HRBP also, and was involved in recruitment also. So end to end, when you report directly to the founders and the startup with a founder that has been funded and the company that has been funded, the approach is very different. The pace is very different. You are very fast paced. There is no time there, and that you have to look at. It's all boundaryless. So that was first experience that I was having, and I was very happy with my experience. Learned a lot again, from payroll management to ESOP management to ESOP launching ESOP plans and everything. Learned a lot of things, even which I will say that some things was not part of HR, maybe a part of finance or admin, but still I was doing that thing because that is how startup works. Startup is all about being boundaryless. If you the world that I say for startups is there is no boundary in your work. So you evaluate the thing how, and you learn from it for sure, and you go forward with that experience. Again, a great experience. Then obviously came the last company, Byju's. uh, Byju's was another interesting opportunity at that time. I joined them before COVID, when the COVID had not hit, and they were a small company of 3,500 people. Went from this company from 3,000 to 50,000 before I left. So I've seen the grown over at least 15-20%, 2x, 20x growth. So 15 to 20x growth in this company. I was one of the first HR to join Byju's. So I have seen the early days also, and all the highs and lows in the company. A great experience. Obviously, very fast-paced company. Yeah, so one of the fastest growing startup at that time, and obviously that helped me also to grow as a business partner. So here, I was direct. I had direct revenue targets. I had direct targets for productivity improvement. I was very closely working with sales. We did a lot of interventions to help the company from a culture perspective, from a revenue perspective. Obviously, something worked out, something worked out, what didn't work. But it was a very sales-driven company. They were always focused on sales, and we helped the sales to ensure that whatever we can do in the best possible way to ensure that they achieve their targets, but in the best possible way. So we did a lot of interventions. We do a lot of things. So I'll give an example to you. And to be honest, the management, despite what you are hearing today and you have heard in the public world, the management was very open to implement things that help the culture to be built. I'll give an example to you. And this is something that I believe nobody else, no other company is able to replicate the same. So if your target is 100 rupees and you achieve 100 rupees, then also you are not getting the actual, and your percentage payout should be 10%. That means 10 rupees should come to you. But what we implemented as an HR strategy is to ensure that attrition and culture is in control. That if your team feedback and attrition is below the expected level, then you get a positive multiplier. That is, the 100 rupees becomes 110. Your achievement increases.
Right.
If your people metrics are below the company standard, so your 100 becomes 90.90. Like this, there was a slab created. So what happened? We
Right.
used the normal, if you have heard about it, the concept of positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement.
Correct.
So, like for a child or a dog, if when you train a dog, you give, I think dog is a wrong example, but still, anybody who you want to train a child or something, you give them a motivation. For example, the motivation is that, okay, if I keep my team happy and I ensure that attrition is not there, I'm focused on the people metrics, then I can achieve more incentives. I
Right.
can get a faster growth. So even for the growth promotions, we kept a minimum culture score. So we had a concept culture score. If the culture score is not up to the expected mark, irrespective of how much revenue a person is doing, the person will not get promoted. And that was HR evaluation there. So a
Mm.
lot of things we did. So to be honest, the management was very, very open to such innovative things to ensure that we have the checks and matrices in place. HR played very important role there, but because of whatever reasons, and I will not comment there. I am not the right person to comment. I left the company long back. It has been 1 year. So at that time, I believe that I learned a lot from them. I have taken promotions. I've grown there. It was a very difficult challenge because they were growing very fast. When a company grows at this rate, obviously there will be challenges. Obviously, processes and people and everything handling will be difficult because you're
Right.
growing at an exponential phase. I was hiring more than 1,000 people per week across the company. So it's
Wow.
huge. When you do that, there will be things that you can't take care of. But yes, we tried our level best, that I can say. And that
Right.
is something that I can say as personally about Byju's now. And I move for this opportunity now to Spocto. Spocto is a part of UB Group, and we have around 5 companies together. Currently, I'm heading the HR for Spocto Solutions. It's a part of the collection industry where we collect on the behalf of bank. Suppose if somebody is has a credit card due, so if he's not paying the due, the bank will share that details with us, and we will use very innovative MI AI technologies to get that collection done through various modes. We are a platform that helps digitalizing the collection. In the time of COVID, when no other method was available, this company helped people, banks to get collection done through digital mode and revolutionize the collection world through their innovative AI and ML technologies. Um, that is what I'm doing at Spocto. I'm heading end-to-end operations. This is a around we have around 1,000 plus people in total, including the full-time and part-time employees. Loving this journey. It has I just completed 1 year with them, so this has been my journey. More than happy to answer any questions that you have, please.
Sir, whatever just told me about your experience, few things that I found were very interesting about, the initial strike that you faced during your, just beginning of the career in the
Yeah,
glass company in the sun, right?
yeah,
And after that, you learned about business partnering and how to, link HR initiatives with,
yeah,
the revenue of the company. So I'd like you to talk more about what is HRBP and how, please break
yeah.
down that role for us.
Let me give an example to you, and I'm doing this at my current company also, and that is what I learned from Byju's, and I'm thank you to Byju's for that learning. Let me give an example to you. How can HR help business? First of all, is to identification of who needs help. That is the most important thing. How will you get that? In every business, which is a sales-driven company, there will be an input and output parameters. Input, let's take example of any sales company. I'm giving a random example. Let's take example of Reliance. If Reliance Smart Bazaar is there, okay. If one of the center, let's take example center in Mumbai, there is a center in Malad East of Smart Bazaar. Now there are 20 employees in that center. Now, how can HR help there? Is to identify first of all which employee need help. So we will get see their input and output parameters. Input is how much effort they are giving,
Right.
and output is how much revenue is coming. So in that, so for example, Let's take example of input. How much customer uh, sales representative is meeting, how
Right.
much meetings visits that person is doing, what is the feedback from the customer about how about his behavior, his way he's talking, his explaining. That is another input parameter. Output parameter is the revenue of that person, how much actual business he's bringing, how much actual money he's bringing into the account. Now, based on this, there can be a different probabilities and combinations. Where, let me give an example to you, where both are good, where a person is doing both well. That means his input is also good and his output is also good. Means he is meeting the highest number of clients and he is meeting the highest revenue, achieving the highest revenue also. So this is an ideal employee for me. What I should do with this employee? I will just keep motivating this employee. I will keep rewarding this employee, keep understanding what he's doing right, and ensuring that that support is with him, asking him what is making you successful, and ensuring that we are able to give that to others. That is a learning for him and keeping him motivated. Now, the other possibility is that some employees doing better in revenue, but input is not there. Classic case of indiscipline. Means
Mm.
the person is the highest performer revenue, but he's doing it without following the processes. He's not meeting the required number of employees. He's not meeting the required number of customers. Or either he's not recording the details in the system wherever the ERP tool is. So there is a disciplinary issue. So what can HR do with disciplinary issue is to understand with the employee why he's not following processes. Though he's a top performer, but that performance can be a fluke also. That
Right.
performance can be one time also. To ensure that he is able to achieve the revenue every month, he will have to follow processes. Processes are for this purpose. He has to follow the SOP. To connecting with this employee, making him understand that you are a good performer, you are good for the company, we are very happy with you, but only revenue will not make you a leader. Tomorrow, you will not
Right.
be able to become a manager and grow if you don't follow processes. Making understand and listening to his challenges also and helping with his solutions. So, this person, if tomorrow improves his input also, then he becomes the top, he will the best performer. He's the ideal employee for me. Next example is where the input is there, but output is not there. Means he's doing the highest number of client meetings, but he's not able
Right.
to convert. So I need to understand from this person whether what is the challenge, whether he has been given the necessary number of peer session, whether he has learned how to convert. Is your manager giving him the required support? Is he has the required trainings he need? So that is
Right.
another way that HR can help. Now there will be one employee. We obviously will not be good in both, whose input is also not there and output is also not there. There, the HR and management has to take a call and accept that okay, maybe we have hired a wrong person, or
Right.
maybe there is something that we are doing wrong with him, where we need to give him the support and help him. So if I categorize the employees into these parameters, that is known as, if you answer, there's a method to it, it's known as skill and will metrics. Who is good in skill,
Right.
who's good in will. The skill and will metrics I just explained to you in normal term. If we do it in any company, and this can be done in any company, because every company in this world has a input and output parameters or targets. So like this is how actually business partner can contribute. What will happen from this is we will get whom to meet. Currently, in all companies, HR has a target to meet all employees in a quarter, in a
Right.
month, and they meet, but they don't know whom to meet. So people just go and do the checklist. What is a checkbox? You can say that they have 20 employees. If an HRBP has 100 employees to meet, he will just go to everyone without any background and meet the
Right.
person, hear him out, and make a opinion that everybody is sad. But when you go to the employee with background and data, then you understand, okay, this
Right.
person is actually not performing. And if he's cribbing or he's saying that I don't have support, actually he is not. So we should always have the data, that is the employee specific data of their revenue, their performance, their inputs, their ratings, everything, and then go to a focused discussion. So what we call this as focused one-on-one. It should be
Right.
always with data. If I'm asking an employee, okay, suppose you are an employee and I come to and you ask, okay, what is happening? That is the wrong question. I should good with data. Okay, your meetings in last 1 month has been very low. What is the problem? Do you need any support? That employee will also feel, yes, I that my HR knows about me. So
Right.
that is how the approach should change. That is highly HRBP. And what will happen is we will get a sense of what is happening in the company better, what is happening in the business better, who are the good managers, who are the bad managers, where we need to focus, and then we can consolidate and give necessary feedback to the management, to the leaders. That okay, these people are your good performers, focus on them. These people are your bad performers, let's improve them. Let's take necessary strict action wherever required.
Right.
So this is a classic example. Yeah, please tell me further.
Great. Sir, I'd like you to share your experience when you faced the strike in the
Yeah.
initial years of your career.
So long time back, 15 years happened, and I will take it very small.
Right.
So you can say what happened was we were into a manufacturing plant, and all the manufacturing was done by full-time employees, and all the packaging of the bottles were done by part-time employees. That is third-party employees, and the third-party employees were asking for a lot of demands they had that I will not go into, and they went into strike, and there was a 4,000 people. 4,000 people went into strike. Now the bottles are getting manufactured, but there is nobody to pick it and pack it. So
Right.
at 1 lakh per rate, 1 lakh bottles per hour used to get produced in that plant.
Oh,
And that all bottles were going back as a dump to the furnace. So
oh
you
God.
can't stop a furnace. If you stop a furnace, it gets jammed. There will be crores of rupees wasted. So the entire process was happening from a bottle manufacturing to the quality check to everything. All the full-time employees were there. But you were wasting per hour 1 lakh bottles manufacturing. Again, it was again manufacturing. So that was what was happening. It
Right.
was a classic case. Now, first thing we did, every management employee, every corporate employee went to the floor and started packing
Right.
because you can't stop business.
Right.
Second thing we did, we found out the resource available who were ready to work and started deploying them. Then
Correct.
we connected with the respective employees leaders, the third party leaders, and understood their demands.
Hmm.
Then we went through labor conciliation processes. I myself visited the labor of a commissioner office with the representatives of the leaders. There were some, I'll not name the parties, but there were political parties also involved in this entire strike because it was a huge workforce that was huge votes for them. So a lot of things happens in when you have labor unions and everything. It was a unionized company. So,
Right.
and I was very, very young, about 22 years of age. And I was stuck in the plant for 5 years. 5 days. I can't go out of of the plant. We had huge facilities there. School was there inside the plant. The housing facilities were there inside the plant. So I stayed in the guest house of the company for 5 days. I didn't tell everything to my parents because they will get scared. So
Right.
I have seen my boss being mishandled in front of me. I have seen the people coming with lathis charging towards my boss office, and they have told to me that okay, and if I can use Hindi, that तू तो बच्चा है सच छोड़ रहे हैं. I was a 22-year-old child, so
Right.
they've got my face. I didn't have the beard and everything, so people thought okay that he's a child, what he will do. So that is why I got saved. Otherwise, I would have also got beaten up. That is the
Oh,
reality. I saw it very early on. I was scared also, but I didn't have any option. I was there. So then we worked upon this. We found various solutions. We did all the things that is required. I will not go into that. It is that confidential again. But I still remember the day we closed the tri-party agreement. So what is tri-party agreement? There were three unions. So we convinced three unions and we signed a tri-party agreement with three unions. The
right.
demands, I can just tell you, will be as low as socks allowance,
Okay.
good allowance, specs allowance, cycle allowance.
All right.
So for a worker, even a socks allowance is important. So that is how
Right.
the We went through this. We went through labor commissioner. We even because there was violence involved, so we took an injection order from the court that nobody can come within 100 meters of the office and everything. We were given at that time itself, entire HR team was told that if you get out of the factory, you will be killed, and all those things happen that you have seen in movies or you have heard. I saw that at 22, 23 years of age. I don't remember everything now, but that is how the experience happened. It was a, and then when we signed it, finally, we were awake for the entire night. I still remember. We met, we finally got a solution to the problem at around 11 in the night. From 11 in the night, and I was a very junior employee. My job was to type the uh, agreement because and
Right.
be part of those meeting, hear it, uh, hear, understand it, make the necessary changes to the agreement, and again go back to the leaders and then present to them and hear the problems and again final solution. So this happened for 10 times
Got.
at least, entire night. And in the
Hmm.
morning, finally we signed it. So
Right.
I will say that learning was huge. Learned a lot of good things, what we should not do, what should we do, a lot of things we understood. But the best thing I learned from this company and this process was that they didn't give up. The chairman of the head of the company also went to the shop floor and started packing himself. Once he went to
Got.
the floor, so leaders should
Hmm.
always walk the talk. He went to the floor,
Right.
he started packing. Seeing him, everybody came and if that would have
Right.
not happened, the morale of the employees would have been again the people who went on strike and the would be very high and they would have never given up. So if you as a company, as a leader, always do the right thing, then obviously
Right.
people will follow you. Another classic example that was there. And obviously follow the law, use the labor law mechanism available to you for conciliation, for all the court support and everything. It helped us. We involved the
Right.
labor unions, we involved everybody. Still, I think that company is one of the biggest company in manufacturing of glass bottles. So great experience. I think that time I was scared. I was thinking why it happened to me, why me only, why, and all. At that time I was didn't realize the benefit of it. Today I cherish these memories. So
Right.
that is all from my end. Any other questions you have? Otherwise, I will have to rush for another meeting of mine. But if yeah.
Sir, maybe one more question we can do for
Yeah,
two
please,
minutes.
please. Yeah,
Okay. You have an expertise in performance management total rewards. So
yeah.
could you please tell us what are the things to keep in mind to create a good reward system?
So again, this starts from your benchmarking. So how it happens is, I will just give you a basic framework. First, you need to make your bands and grades. If
Right.
when a company starts, they need to understand what will be the bands, what will be the grades under them, what will be the ideal salary as per the industry benchmarking for those people.
Right.
And then any performance appraisal that happens, obviously you will get ratings, you get everything. You follow bell curve, you don't follow bell curve, but you need to ensure that your basics are right, your benchmarking is right. If your benchmarking is right, then
Right.
and it's accurate every year, then only you're able to give a right performance appraisal to anyone. For example, let me give an example to you. There are two kind of employees. One is my top performer,
Correct.
and one is my medium performer. Both are at same salary.
Hmm.
Okay, and both are below market standard.
Right.
So the top performer, I will bring him above the market standard by giving that necessary raise, irrespective of the percentage
Correct.
right now. And I will bring that media performer not in one go, maybe slowly, slowly. Now, the third
Right.
example is a medium performer who is already maybe more less performer who is also below the salary. He will come more less. So the first person who's a top performer will reach the market standard in 1 year. The person
Right.
who is not a medium performer will reach that market standard in 4 years, 3 years, and somebody who's the bottommost performer will reach it maybe 5 years.
Got
You
it.
need to. So there are two things that we're doing here. We are seeing who is below market standard and making them reach that goal post. But how soon they will reach that goal post is depending upon their performance.
Performance.
That is a summary that I will say that any appraiser should have. You should not only rate it between your company, it should be market analysis. Why this happens? If your employees are underpaid, obviously they will start job for finding a job. Money is
Right.
important. So you need to ensure that they're at least paid as per the market standard.
Right.
And the better the performer, more fast you should make him reach there. And if a person is already your top performer and already out of market standard, then use method like ESOPs. Give
Right.
them the necessary stocks, give them the growth opportunities, irrespective of levels. So I will give an example to you of CAST 24. In CAST 24, even the bottommost 10th pass engineer used to get stocks. He used to come to me and say, सर आई विल यूज हिंदी अगेन, सर मेरा परसेंटेज बढ़ा दो, पैसा बढ़ा दो, ये स्टॉक ले लो, मुझे नहीं चाहिए.
Okay.
But he didn't used to understand the importance there. But when the company buyout back, he understood how much
Right.
money he made. So
Right.
again, that is the example that you need to explain. I told him that trust me, you will earn 10 times than your salary from this single stock.
Hmm.
So it is not levels. So some company does this mistake of giving ESOPs to only the bottommost, only the topmost level people, but it should be
Right.
everyone. And you can even reward people with ESOP. For example, in CAST 24, we have to have a method that every person who promotes get ESOP. Every person who is continuously for last 2 3 years a top performer gets ESOP. So there was a match to it. Always
Right.
one thing that I will say, and I will end my session. I have to run for another meeting. That
Definitely.
um, always do your performance appraisal by hiding the name.
Right.
Do it based on his current salary and the market benchmark, his rating, and his contribution to the company. If we
Right.
don't hide the names, it will always be biased because your subconscious, you don't know you what you're thinking. You will type something because you like somebody, irrespective. So that's how we do it, and that is and the job of HR is to fight for the employee, to ensure that partiality is not there, to ensure that formula based appraisal happen and a logic based appraisal happen and not person specific. So I like to thanks a lot for your time. I'm sorry I have
Thank
to
you,
rush
sir.
for, and
That's
maybe
all
we
right,
can
sir.
do another session next time sometime. It was a pleasure connecting with you, Prakhar. Thanks a lot for all your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for valuable time. Have a good day.
Same to you. Bye. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.